ETS 551, Digital Signal Processing, Recursive versus non-recursive systems. Recursive, a recursive process is one that is repeated over and over again in order to fulfill its purpose. In signal and system analysis, the present output is dependent on its previous/past output value. The given equation is y, k equals y, k minus 1, plus x, k, which means the output at index k depends on the previous output value y, k minus 1, and the current input x, k. If the discrete time system is set to k equals 1, 2, or 3, we can observe that the present output y, k, is calculated using the past output y, k minus 1. For example below. In all cases, the current output value is directly dependent on the previous output. Therefore, the system is considered recursive. Next is non-recursive. A non-recursive process does not repeat over and over again in order to fulfill its purpose. In signal and system analysis, the present output is dependent only on inputs. In this example, the system is defined by the equation y, k equals x, k plus x, k minus 1, which means the output at index k depends only on the current input x, k, and the previous input x, k minus 1. The given values are y 0 equals 2 x 0 equals 0, x 1 equals 2, x 2 equals 1, x 3 equals 0. Now, we compute the output step by step. For k equals 1, k equals 2, k equals 3. From the equation and these results, we can see that the output at index k only depends on the current and previous input values, and does not involve any past output values. Therefore, this system is considered a non-recursive system. Here's another example that shows the difference between recursive and non-recursive systems using basic equations and links them to common digital filter types. The first equation is y, n equals xn, plus xn minus 1. This means the output at index n depends only on the current input xn, and the previous input xn minus 1. There is no use of any past output values. Since the output is determined purely from inputs, this system is classified as non-recursive. The second equation is y, n equals y, n minus 1, plus xn. In this case, the output at index n depends on the previous output y, n minus 1, and the current input xn. Since the system uses a past output to compute the present output, it is considered a recursive system. In summary, a recursive system involves feedback, where the output depends on previous outputs. A non-recursive system involves only feed-forward, using current and past inputs. The slide also explains the link with digital filters. All IIR, infinite impulse response, systems are recursive, as they use feedback from past outputs. All FIR, finite impulse response, systems are non-recursive, since they rely only on input values and do not use feedback from previous outputs. Thank you and see you on the next video.